board meeting for the town of Robbinsville, October 7th, 2020, at 1 p.m. to order. At this time, we'll all stand and we'll do the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Attention.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to go ahead and pray. I'm most dear and gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, just thank you, Lord, again for another wonderful day. Lord, just ask you, Lord, just to be with each and every one of us as we sit down here and that town board business, Father. Father, Lord, just to give us each and every one of us, Lord, an open mind, Father, Lord. And I pray, Lord, each and every one will be mindful. Lord, just ask you, Lord, just to be with with our nation as they go about making decisions for each and every one of us, and be mindful with us, Father, Lord, that we make good sound decisions. And Father, Lord, just thank you, Lord, for your saving power, Father, Lord, and just ask you, Lord, to be with each and every one, Father, Lord, that's here today in this meeting. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to open up a public hearing for the sewer improvement grant.
Motion to open up public hearing on the sewer improvement.
Okay, I'll turn it over.
We'll go from there. The last name is too hard to. And if everybody's so you can hear what I'm saying, I'm just going to drop this for just a minute. Because otherwise it fogs up and it just, having done this a couple times, it just makes a mess. So the date is October the 7th, Town of Robbinsville. The public hearing on October the 7th, 2020 will provide an explanation and description of the fiscal year 2020 North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality Community Development Block Grant Infrastructure Grant Program. We are present to discuss the purpose of the public hearing for the town's CDBGI funding application. The purpose of the public hearing is to obtain citizens' views and to allow responses from the public to funding proposal and answer any questions posed by the citizen. This public hearing will cover the town's community development block grant, community development needs, development of the proposed activities, and a review of the program compliance before the submission of the town's CDBGI funding application to the state of North Carolina. The town proposes to request funding from North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality's CDBGI program for sewer collection line improvements along Laurel Street, North Main Street to Poco Road and Ford Street. The proposed project will meet the following community development and housing needs of the town by replacing and upgrade the sanitary sewer system in the North Main Street area, including Laurel Street to Poco Road and the north end of Ford Street neighborhood. Components of the project include new 8-inch gravity sewer manholes and related appurtenances. The purpose of the CDBGI grant program is to improve the quality of life for low to moderate income people by providing a safe, clean environment and clean drinking water through water and sewer improvements and extension of services. To benefit a residential area where at least 51% of the beneficiaries are low to moderate income, as defined by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. To perform eligible activities, to minimize displacement, and provide displacement assistance as necessary. For the fiscal year of 2020, CDBGI funding available is expected to be $25 million. The maximum amount of a grant is $2 million over a 3-year period. Applications for funding will be received by 5 p.m. on November 23rd, 2020. The CDBG program is able to fund a wide variety of community development activities. The state of North Carolina has chosen to fund several activities: water and sewer infrastructure, neighborhood revitalization, COVID-19 related projects, and economic development projects that lead to job creation and retention. The infrastructure program on the CDBGI program can fund a range of water and sewer improvement activities, included but not limited to the following: projects that resolve water loss in distribution systems, projects that extend public water to areas with contaminated wells, projects that extend water lines to areas with dry wells, projects that assist with low water pressure in public water systems, projects that regionalize 2 or more water systems, projects that rehabilitate or replace a water treatment plant. Wastewater projects include projects that resolve inflow and infiltration to collection systems and surges from pump stations and manholes. Projects that extend public sewer to areas with failed septic tanks. Projects that rehabilitate a wastewater treatment plant to allow for greater efficiency and compliance with regulations. The town is seeking an amount in CDBGI funds not to exceed $2 million for the sewer collection line improvements along Laurel Street, North Main Street, Poco Road, and Ford Street. The purpose of the town's request is to replace and upgrade the sanitary sewer system in the North Main Street area, including Laurel Street, Poco Road, and the north end of Ford Street neighborhood. Components of the project include the new 8-inch gravity sewer manholes and related appurtenances. The project proposed by the town is identified in the FY 2020 capital improvement plan, and formal community meetings were held in the project area to inform the citizens of the potential project and get feedback from the residents. A total of 100% of the CDBGI funding will be used to benefit low to moderate income people. The project area in the town has been determined to have an area-wide benefit of 67.86%. The project area includes North Main Street, Laurel Street, Poco Road, and the north end of Ford Street. The range of activities covered by the CDBGI funding for the sewer collection improvement along Laurel Street, Main Street, Poco Road, and Ford Street include construction, environmental review, engineering design, construction administration and observation, legal activities, surveys, grant administration. If the town is awarded a CDBGI grant, the town is required to adhere to the federal procurement requirements and other federal regulations, which include the American with Disability Act, Section 504 survey, Davis-Bacon and related labor activities, adoption and submission of a citizens participation plan, adoption and submittal of an equal opportunity plan, adoption and submittal of a fair housing plan, adoption and submittal of a language access plan, adoption and submittal of a relocation assistance plan, adoption and submittal of a Section 3 plan, and excessive force provision. The state of North Carolina requires that if the town receives CDBG grant funds, that the town will certify that they will comply with the requirements of the general displacement and relocation policy for CDBG grant funding. This policy assists low to moderate income people with the costs associated with relocation and displacement. Should such relocation become necessary due to project activities, CDBG funds can be used for those costs if necessary. If no displacement or relocation occurs as a result of the project, then the town confirms that during this project period. The town, because this is a public water sewer system improvement project, it is extremely unlikely that any person or household will have to be displaced, because your work is going to be in the public right of way and in public areas. And this is a question, Mayor, or to the board, is has the town received CDBG funds directly in the past?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember what the project was?
It was, the last CDBG project was, The
It was in 2018, it was,
2018, that
it's
must
the one we
have,
just closed out, you got the extra 20,000 there at the very end.
Okay.
Yeah, which one does that?
that was a $3
You'll get
million
that all
dollar.
added to this.
Right.
If we just need to,
Yeah,
I'll
that was the
work with
one that
Sonia
I
to
was
get it
state
added in.
certified in order to write check. I had to take that environmental test in Raleigh,
That's right,
Mhm,
that's right.
and I've got both certificates up there on the wall.
You're great. You nailed it. So I'll get with Sonia to get the details on that, and then we'll put it in here for the minutes.
Okay.
Okay? The town will submit its CDBGI application for the sewer collection line improvements along Laurel Street, North Main Street, and Tobacco Road, and Ford Street. 4 times we do that. On November 23rd, 2020, the CDBGI application will be available for review during the normal business hours at the Robbinsville Town Hall, 4 Court Street, Robbinsville, North Carolina. Additional information is available by contacting the mayor, Steve Hooper, at 828-479-3250. Should you have any complaints or grievances regarding this subject public hearing, they should be addressed to the addressing mentioned above within 10 business days, or by October 21st, 2020. And a written response to the written complaint and or grievance will be sent by the town within 10 business days where practicable. We open the meeting up for comments or questions.
Do we have any public comment or input?
I'm ready.
None, apparently, I don't hear none, so we need to wait at least a minute or so. Ms. Davis?
I was just gonna say, did the town confirm that there's no displacement or relocation?
Oh, yes,
If y'all
this
can
is
say
it.
it.
Yes,
I mean, I heard you say
But
that.
basically, the main thing is gonna be in between manhole to manhole. It's not gonna be going to no trailer park or nothing. It's at the back side of a
It's
trailer park,
replacing the existing.
where everything dumps into one manhole that has failed, going to another one where the old terracotta pipes has, over the years, and it's just worn out and it's decaying and falling in. And it's basically just gonna be manhole set and pipe laid and carried on.
So, and the only case that might occur that would require a temporary relocation to a family, it would be if there an unforeseeable problem happened in the middle of laying the line and you weren't able, they were out without water for a 24-hour period. Then the process is you would work with one of the local, somewhere for the family to relocate for that short period of time. But that is not foreseeable, because usually we don't transfer over to the new line until it has been inspected,
Right.
reviewed, and so they should stay on their existing line until everything is
Right.
in place and inspected and determined that the water is in good, the sewer lines are in good condition.
And upon having to move someone, the money could be used out of the
Out of the grant.
grant. So,
Absolutely, that is,
I mean, it's.
you're absolutely correct. It is an allowable and it is a required cost to come out of the grant
Right.
if their family temporarily had to move a family out. But the likelihood is, I hate ever saying 100% of not doing it, because I've had things over the years, something comes up and you're going, should never have said that. So I'm just going to say extremely likely.
With no further input, I'll entertain a motion to go ahead and close public hearing on the sewer improvement grant that coentails for Laurel Street, North Main Street, Topeka Road, and Ford
And up read it forward. We've got this
Make a motion to
memorized.
close public hearing on that.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
That is short, quick, and to the point.
And I've sent you those, the draft minutes that basically takes this narrative and turns them into minutes. I'll make sure I email that to you.
Okay.
With that change with the
copy to that
information with
change.
the, yeah. So that way you can just take it straight from there. I'll come back at your next
Okay.
meeting so we can get those
You can-
the minutes approved.
That'd be good.
Okay, I'll see you then,
Alrighty.
Uh-huh.
if not sooner.
You have a safe journey back to Ashland.
Thank you. Take care.
Mhm.
It was good seeing you.
Okay,
See you.
I'll entertain a motion
You too.
to open up public hearing on property lease of the old town hall building.
Brought my own shoe.
Make a motion to open public hearing on the Old Town Hall property lease.
Okay, this is when they read this,
Do I have one page? No, it's not that.
not this one.
It's
It's
the
next.
actual resolution has to be read
No, we take public comment,
first.
and then you go.
That's it,
When we
right there.
close public hearing, then it has to be read.
Then you do.
Okay.
Alright,
Public-
public hearing is now open for the lease of the old town hall.
3, 4, 7, 8, 2, 0, 6, 5, 3, 4, 7, 8, 2, 0, 7.
I would just add the notice of public hearings in your packet, and it was advertised on the Grand Store, September 24th.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to close. Well, no, I need to read the resolution first on it.
After that.
Need that right after
Yeah,
that?
after the
Okay.
public comment.
I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing on property lease at Old Town Hall.
I'll make a motion on that.
Okay. There being, I'll read the resolution to lease real property. State of North Carolina, County of Graham, whereas the town council of the town of Robbinsville desires to adopt a resolution authorizing a lease agreement by and between the town of Robbinsville and Big Green Chair LLC, a North Carolina limited liability company, and created by Amber L. Benton and David T. Benton, managing members. Whereas the town of Robbinsville owns a certain tract of real property which is more particular described in Book 51 on page 399, Graham County Registry. Whereas the town of Robbinsville, pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 161A 272, has the authority to adopt a resolution at the regular scheduled meeting authorizing the lease to the publication of notice to lease the real property herein described. Whereas the notice of publication has had in the Graham Star during the month of September 2020 and October 2020, and that the town council conducted its public hearing at its regular scheduled meeting on October the 7th, 2020. Whereas the town of Robbinsville has carefully considered that said real property is not needed by the town in the foreseeable future or further, that it is in the best interest of the residents of the town of Robbinsville to lease this real property to Big Green Chair LLC, a North Carolina limited liability company. Whereas the Big Green Chair LLC of North Carolina limited liability company is a company that will utilize said real property for a coffee grinding business and to open to the public. The new business will meet the social, economic, and recreational needs of Graham County residents while improving the appearance of the Main Street building, thereby instilling pride in community and place. Whereas the Big Green Chair LLC, a North Carolina limited liability company, will lease said real property for a period of up to 10 years, pay the water, sewer, and tax bills, and provide liability insurance naming the town of Robbinsville as loss payee during the term of the lease. Whereas the consideration for said lease is valued in the amount of $400 per month based upon the Big Green Chair LLC, a North Carolina limited liability company, maintaining the grounds and providing maintenance and repairs to the structure situated thereon, accepting structural repairs. Now that therefore be it resolved by the town council that this resolution be adopted, and that the town council be hereby authorized to sign a lease for a period of 10 years unless sooner needed, with terms certain as contained wherein, adopted and passed vote of town council for the town of Robbinsville, state of North Carolina, at a regular scheduled meeting on October 7th, 2020. I'll entertain a vote to be on this. All in favor of the resolution. Show that Councilmember Beasley and Councilmember Johnson both voted affirmative.
Do they have to make a motion?
No. Well, the vote is a motion, right? Or do they need to go ahead and make the motion to adopt it?
Well, you said now therefore be it resolved, the town council, that this resolution be adopted.
Adopted.
And so it was adopted.
And we voted. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Do we have the bid for the truck?
It's 7.
The 7?
7 bids.
You do have each one of them numbers, right?
Want to close that public?
No, we already did that.
Close.
10, 7. I know I've got 7 here. I will be opening up each individual one at a time. I'm opening up bid number 1. Bid number 1 is for $268. Bid number 2. $408.60. Number 3. Number 3 is for $805.
Thunder, it's thunder.
Number 4 is for $599.
What ain't such a strong place off? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
$550. Number $300. And bid number 7. It's for $203. Okay. After looking at them here, bid number 3 for $805. Is that what you got?
Yeah.
The high school one. And $805 was bid by Mr. Michael M. Kennedy for the 1996 Ford truck. What would be the will of the board upon the bids for the truck that is in?
Motion to accept the bid number 3 of $805, the, from Michael Kennedy for the said vehicle.
There's the back, and here is the this time, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve the regular minute meeting September 2nd, 2020.
I'll second that.
I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
There's one thing that I have maybe amended or just added under yours, John.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we'll just add that last handout we give about gray and red underneath John's on number 8.
Okay, just add 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we probably need to add that. So we have one other thing. The Graham Star is doing the Veterans magazine that's going to be in the paper
Next month.
next month.
Yes, sir.
And they were wanting to know if the town would like to buy ad in that paper. I don't know. I don't have the price sheet.
I don't either. I don't have one with me, actually, but I can get you one.
Just add that, make 12 there, but we'll move 12 in front of 11.
Yeah, that's fine. This time, I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I second that.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to open up public comment.
Make a motion to open public comment this time.
Any public comment?
Motion to close public
Close.
comment.
Okay. Going right along into old business. Town hall mode issue updates. On that, we've got some bids here. First of all, let everybody know that they will be in here this weekend doing the
Follow-up,
follow-up on the, that,
that O2 wizard thing, they're coming back for the follow-up after they get the research.
but, we have got some, the additional mold issue in our basement and stuff, and doors replaced and stuff. And we have some bids here. O2 Wizard basement, that's at $1,900, right? And then we have the town hall wall. The hall estimate was for $4,180, and the jewel was for $1,600. Both of them bidded on the same thing.
To repair the water damage in the town hall,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay, and then the basement doors, Jewel bidded $1,000 for the 2 doors. And then the town hall, the floor, Jewel bidded $5,000, and then the town hall vanity, Jewel bidded $300, and the only one that we got a decision about is the town hall wall there, out here in the front. And the hall gentleman bidded $4,180, and the jewel bidded $1,600. Jewel, he works with Andrews Construction, Kelly Andrews, and he's got his own heating and air too. What would be the will of the board?
Did anybody else have a chance to offer bids on the basement doors, the town hall floor or the vanity in the bathroom.
Cliff Hall came in and looked at it and was gonna give me a bid, but he hasn't yet. On all of this, I only bid he's been able to give me so far as the interior wall.
Okay, and I'm gonna hold off on the basement on the O2 until we get the windows and doors
Yeah,
fixed down there, because if not, it's be something
And,
more from outside.
well, we need to also hold off too, so we get that retaining wall built up where the water can't run off the side and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
underneath the, so they got to be some exterior, they got to be some exterior, groundwork done and, some water retention, spots fixed.
But far as the town hall wall inside, make a motion to accept
Jewel,
Jules' quote.
okay.
That's this wall right here.
That's this
Inside.
wall.
In the office, front office.
And that's-
Yeah,
To do all that.
yeah.
And Jill's gonna do all that for
Mhm. And,
And
yeah.
I was gonna, the motion's open.
On the interior wall.
I guess I'm just wondering why is there such a difference between Hall's at 4180 and him with 1600? It doesn't really say what he's gonna do. Is he gonna do what this one's saying, because this is, or is he just,
The way Kelly Andrews said he's gonna scrape off the damage and replace it with stucco and paint. So that's the same thing.
Oh, it's like that same thing, Cliff Hall did.
Is it in line?
No more than this now. I mean, he says stucco concrete wall.
Yeah. I'm just,
and I mean, the reason that Cliff Hall's is more is because he's also stating in his that he's replacing an 8 by 12 wall in storage room, so that's really, you know, his is more because his is
That's that back.
doing more.
Yeah, I showed it to Kelly, it's supposed to be included, so, we can take it back, we
Yeah,
can take
let's,
it back to Kelly and tell him we
I'll
want
withdraw my
detail, make
motion
sure
at
it
this time.
includes.
And get them back up here and give us another quote on
Okay, what?
and
what
also,
is-
does that wall not, was we not told, that wall needed to be sealed before, after it was scraped, everything needed to be sealed?
According to your roofers that are here, that been on the professional roof, that once they've done that and they're, the gutter and they're sealing the outside, that we shouldn't have any water damage on the inside. The water's not coming in anymore according to Cox Roofing who's here. But what I would like to suggest, since I know I talked to Kelly and walked him through, I'd like to say, if it includes both that back room and this wall, for the 1600, y'all would approve to do it. If it does,
Yeah, if it
we bring
includes
back.
both,
If
I'm
it
all for it.
includes that, yeah,
Yeah.
but, I mean, I want that stated in
Yeah.
something.
Right.
Before we
For
start.
$1,600, it's not just gonna say stucco concrete wall,
Yeah.
it's gonna say stucco wall,
That's this wall, the bathroom,
replace
and that
8
back
by
wall.
12, and
Yeah,
paint
storage.
wall,
Right,
yeah.
and make sure it's the same. It is a big difference.
If it's the same, then we'll make a motion to accept
Good.
if it is the same.
Cause
Yeah.
I love to do it while Sherry's out and get it taken care of. I'll say if it includes the same description as Hall.
Right. Okay, the old town hall lease, we've done handled that.
Well,
Resolution,
wait.
right?
Wait a second. We're still on this. He's a, Cliff Hall, we approved him to replace the windows that were broken out.
Yeah, that's true.
And, I think we probably need to go ahead and, get the basement doors done so we can get once all that's completed, then we can get that O2 wizard bunch back in here to do the basement. But those two things have to be done before we do the basement.
Well, we got to dump that water from going off them steps into them metal doors, new metal doors.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the doors, Debbie?
Yeah, I mean, we need to get those, yeah. And I guess my question too is so what, we already approved for Hall to do the basement windows, why didn't we go ahead and do the doors at that time?
Because that was, the doors
The
wasn't
doors
all up
wasn't-
and that,
okay.
they just repaired.
Because
That
the
was
windows were busted.
myself and
Okay.
Sonia walked around and a 12-year-old could walk through this wooden door down here.
Okay, I was just wondering, yeah.
Make a motion for Jewel to go ahead and do the bottom 2 entry doors to the basement.
I second that.
And 4 and 5 I want to place on hold until we get the other work done.
4 and 5 on hold.
Yeah. And number 1 will be on hold until the doors and windows are,
And the gutter and all that.
yeah, all that
is
stuff done before we do
complete.
the bottom. And we'll revisit it hopefully by next month. Hopefully that'll be done next meeting.
Okay, and so that vanity, they want to do it with that, it's connected to the wall that they're stuck on. That last thing is the bathroom vanity. It's a box. It's attached to the wall. They need to do that while they do the stucco.
Okay, so basically their bid would be 19 instead of a
That's right.
separate.
That's right, because I don't have Hall's quote in for the vanity and the floor and the basement. I talked to him yesterday, so.
We'll just include the extra 300 into
Okay.
the town hall wall project, if it includes everything that the other one. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I second that, but if it doesn't, I don't want it,
Absolutely.
I don't even
I'll
want
give you
none of it
the
done.
writing,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like they called it, because it is a big difference. Isn't it?
Okay. Y'all okay with the number 1 now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Old Town Hall lease resolution, we've done that
We
one.
took care of that one.
Next, I've got 2 bids on the Collins, drainage. First bid, lump sum of $14,359. The second bid is for $13,985.75. Difference of about $400.
Yeah.
About $400, and the low bid would be the Ace Clearing and Construction. That would be for the 300-foot lineal feet of ditch line, 5 foot wide in Collins Trailer Park. On his bid, the price quoted is based upon being paid the full amount of our contract within 45 days of completion of the work. We'll provide all necessary insurance to cover our portion of work, no local project taxes, construction and or any environmental fees or permits are included. Excavate to ground an approximately 300 lineal feet by 5 foot wide ditch. Install 300 linear feet of 12-inch corrugated double wall, smooth wall pipe, build a head wall and backfill and cover approximately 100 yards of 4 to 6 size gravel, grade each side to drain to and sow in straw for $13,985.75. Any repairs to underground utilities that are damaged as a result of excavation will be the responsibility of the town of Robbinsville with no cost to ACE clearing and construction. What would be the will of the board?
This is something that's been going on since
Huh.
2012,
Well,
and it needs to be mitigated.
We have already, I wonder how much money we've already put into this.
there's no telling.
There's no telling.
There's
how
no
much.
telling.
And when we first started this, talking to them about this, I think Bo, their son, with this ACE, said that he was willing to help out with this.
Right. Mhm. Well, he sitting right there at that meeting, that, whenever he's here.
When he first came and approached us
Right,
with this, he said he was willing to take his time and and help us with this.
Mhm.
It's been an ongoing thing that, who was the engineering company that, who is is it McGill's or whatever?
Yeah, but see,
And
but,
I'm totally, I don't understand. That's a lot of money for something that, we don't have the money to give our employees the pay raise that we voted to do. How can we take money from them and pay to fix something that we don't have the money to really do right now? Do we need to fix it? I think we've tried to fix it, and I think that we've been willing to fix it, but we gotta have some help on these prices right here.
Mhm.
That's my thoughts on this. How can we take $13,000 and pay to have a piece of ground fixed, and we can't take money that we voted to give our employees the 3%
Right.
pay increase, and we've still not done that?
Mhm.
I can't vote to do this right now. I won't do it.
Brian, you got any comment?
The only thing we can do, like you said, Mr. Collins did say that he'd help us and, help us with this project. Maybe we need to
Rush him.
approach him and see.
See if he's willing to actually help.
Mhm.
So at this time, we'll remain this issue on the table.
This proposal may be withdrawn within 30 days, if not accepted, he said.
That's okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
carry it to the next meeting. All right, number 4, Town Alleyway, Morpheus Street update.
That one?
All right, there's a memo for closing alleys. That's in your packet. And, the first thing you do is you adopt the resolution, and that's in your packet too, but I want to make sure I described it correctly. But when a municipality closes an alley, they adopt a resolution, and then you have to publish for 4 weeks in the newspaper. I think the newspaper industry has been lobbying.
Yes. Pay my salary every 2 weeks, thank you guys.
It does have to close an alley or a street, it does have to go in the paper for 4 weeks. So, then we'd have to get with Sonia, because you have to send it by the resolution. Certified attorney receipt requested.
Yeah, I think there's three property owners on it.
PO got in on that. Then you post it along the property where you're going to close it. And I think you should post it out here on the town hall building.
Okay.
And then it doesn't involve DOT, does it?
No.
No.
I didn't think, okay. So we're okay there. And then if you decide to close it, we put that over in the register of deeds. And alley closing. So, with that said, I prepared a resolution. I need to make sure I've described this property correctly. I took it from an existing angle iron on the southeast corner, and Sonia, did you put in the packet, did you highlight it in,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's highlighted. Found that drawing on the back. Yes.
Sure, let me take it. So, what I did in the resolution, and I can correct that, because I started at the existing angle iron on Hooper, on this corner right here, but you're wanting to close it all the way up here on Carver. Is that right?
Yes, I believe that's,
And that's okay. What I did was run it from Thomas Hooper to here. I can go back and add that in the description and include it from Carver's iron pin set, or angle iron. Okay. So this is it right here. So your resolution to close the alley is that the council members of the town of Robbinsville hereby adopts the following resolution. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statutes 168-299, declaring your intent to permanently close the following unopened and unnamed alley to all vehicular traffic. Is that right?
portion of it.
Then it would be lying near the south margin of Carver, and being a portion of lots 110, 111, and 112. And I gave plat book 1 at page 80. And then I gave the description of the length of the alley, or the meets and bounds of the alley. A portion of the survey of the alley is attached here too, so I'll attach that. The entire survey is on display at Town Hall. I have only this portion, so you all have the entire survey?
I can get it from, where I got those from.
Okay,
Miss-
Terry James?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you really do need the whole survey. So when you get the entire survey is on display at the Town Hall, and then the proposed closed alley is highlighted in, and I can make that yellow or green. Whenever someone walks in here, it has to be highlighted.
Okay.
Is green okay, or yellow?
Yeah, well, it's probably better. I think they're more accessible than
Yeah, I think,
other
yeah.
colors.
A public hearing on this question shall be held at 1 p.m. or as soon thereafter, Wednesday, November 4th, at the Robbinsville Town Hall. Any person wishing to be heard on the question whether the closing of the unopened and unnamed alley to all vehicular traffic would be detrimental to the public interest or the property rights of any individual shall be presented at that time.
Because the portion that's being closed is, no vehicle can get on it.
Yeah.
So it's totally blocked. The portion of the alleyway that we're in question is,
What they did was.
is no, you can't get to.
The bill was related on them.
Okay. And then by law, in that statute that's quoted, it reverts half, from the center line. So these property owners along here would have to the center line of the alley.
That'd be three property owners.
And then, you're right, and then down here, it would have half of the alley would revert to these owners.
Yes, yes.
So, and then,
Oh, I do, I know just much.
you decide to adopt, whether to adopt this resolution.
Would the new postal corridor have to be on there?
Yeah, I'll revise that and extend it. I just started at this angle line, so I'll start at this angle line.
Yes.
And Carver,
And straight across
and
it.
straight down here.
Yeah.
Straight down.
Well, do we need to adopt this resolution today?
No, you can put it on November's and then advertise, starting in December.
I think that would be good. That way we have all the wording in it.
We have all.
And have everything.
Yeah.
And have everything ready for. Because you're right, you need to survey. Okay,
We'll see if we can track that down.
and that's Terry James.
Yeah. All right, so we'll just leave this table until next month.
Westport Hill
That needs to be remain table as well.
table as well. Is there any further old business to come before this board before we go into new business? Okay. New business, first up, the RTA Council.
I'm not remember at all. What's that about? I can't remember.
There were two, in September, Dirk Cody and Teresa Garland will be up for either to be reappointed, September 2020, or either need to be reappointed or replaced on the county council, or RTA council.
Okay. We'll revert that back to, I think you have a meeting this afternoon.
We do.
And then see if they're willing to serve another term and then bring it back to council.
Bring it back next month.
Next month. Okay, RHS yearbook advertisement, we've got the, this has been sent to us by this year's yearbook. And, we've been getting, what, a quarter page?
I think
And
we've been
last
getting-
year,
I didn't look it up.
this is the yearbook.
I think we normally do about a quarter page is what we kind of stick to.
Okay. Is that you putting that in form of a motion?
Yes.
What
It's,
size did you say?
A
Quarter
quarter
page.
page.
I second that.
Okay. Sidewalk project and Morphew Street drainage project.
We got a couple folks here. The main one, the one that's important is extending or putting a sidewalk in where there's not been one for years. And that's on Ford Street from the ball court all the way down to Collins Tow Park entrance. And we've asked several people. We got one quote. So I don't know the process of that, or put it back out and try to get some more, or, and this is a mason. He's a concrete mason, so. And that's what he does. He specializes in concrete. sidewalks and forms and footers and stuff. And the other quote is at the bottom of Morphew Street, where we've been having a lot of drainage issues coming down off the road, and he's putting in a 12-inch, 32-foot trough across the road to catch all that water to put it in the storm drain.
That's County Mike one down here on
At the end of Fourth Street.
Street.
And those are the quotes, and nobody else has given us any other quotes to. I think according to our policy, we need at least 3 on the amount. And what do we do if we don't get 3? That's the next question.
Well,
Has this been advertised or? I'm
No,
sorry.
most of them, we just go and talk to some people, try to get them to give us quotes that actually do that type of work. And either they're too busy or they don't want to put nothing on paper.
I think just document that you made an effort and, you made an effort to actually go out and ask people for quotes, but they were too busy to even quote it, so I think just left with what you have,
And that's talking directly to the contractors that does the bidding.
So what do you think?
I think we need to table it.
Okay.
See if we can get a couple, 3 more bids in.
What I'm wondering about on this one that's here on Ford Street, where there's no sidewalk at all,
Mm-hmm.
that's where it always is, the water all ponds up right in there in that area. So
I spoke
what's
with.
it gonna do to that sidewalk, I guess? is
He
what
said,
I'm
because there's a
confused.
drain right there, and he said that he would taper it into the drain, and the sidewalk would go around the drain, so it would catch a lot of that water. Because I walked through there with him when he went and looked through the project. He said they would taper it around so that water would funnel into the to the existing drain. Right now, it can't get to the drain because the dirt's up around the drain. So that's probably the reason why it's still tying up. He said he would make like a concrete apron so it all flow into that drain. On that one.
Well, okay, this one right here at the Morphew Street.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's one of them where that we've had a lot of issues with. We've already done some stuff with that ourselves, right?
Yeah, we've cleaned out the ditch line, but it's the water that's coming off of Ward Street
Ward
that's
Street.
flowing in. And we got some breaks, but it ain't enough to catch, because there's a lot of water. And it's flowing across the street and into this other guy's yard, basically.
So this one's more or less like a hazard type thing that we
Yeah, it
need
could
to
be.
do. And then this one is just more or less just to kind of put a sidewalk
Yeah.
out. Do we have to table both of them, or
No.
can,
We can
well,
separate them. And in the meantime, we'll try to get more quotes on this, on the sidewalk, if you want to approve the other one.
I think we probably need to do that one, especially since it's gonna,
And I think that'll catch a lot of the, because we have been getting a lot of complaints about water flowing down that
well,
road.
that's the one that I know I've heard people talk about. The sidewalk thing, I've not even had anybody to even confront me with.
Well, it just kind of makes sense, the sidewalk, because there's
Oh,
no
I
one,
know.
there's no one there.
I know, uh-huh. But I'm gonna make the motion that we accept the bid from Tim Creasman for the drain at the bottom of Morphew Street
I'll second that one. Okay.
and table the other.
Okay. And in the meantime, we'll try to get some more quotes for that down there.
Okay. Number 4, the Robbinsville Flying Club. We, ever since I've been in office, they've been giving the Flying Club $1,000, in which we have been every year appropriating $1,000 into this our like donations, right, Sonia? Or
They were just requesting.
Sonia has requested that we go ahead and get a line item that says Flying Club donation Is that right, Sonia?
Well, for the next year's budget, we're gonna put that as its own line item to let it get voted, but just to have full disclosure, we're just bringing it to the board to just make mention that we donated $1,000 to the shrine.
Okay.
That had been appropriated for.
That's paid.
So that's just information there, it's not nothing we have to vote on.
Okay.
For a donation.
Or support.
I mean, because we support.
We've got your auditor here too. Donations are, a municipality has to be so careful, and I know the shrine is closed. That's not that's not the question. It's just donations from municipalities. I wouldn't do a line item for the shrine is closed.
Just a donation
I
line
do a
item.
donation line, you gotta
And
draw
put it
it
in
out
there.
somewhere.
Okay.
Get out of this year's budget, you're gonna have $1,500 or whatever, and apportion that between you. So it really has to be the benefit.
Then we should do it for all of them, or just put them all still in
Do a
just a
donation
donation?
line.
Just put it together, yeah, I think
There's
together
no
is
need to
fine.
do two shriners, but still give them the money.
Yes, yeah, if you feel that,
We just make a donation line item
yes.
and put money in. Okay.
Okay, number 5, meeting minute request, striking of name. Individual's name was mentioned in the minutes and he,
Well, I'm gonna make a motion that the name be withdrawn from the minutes and then,
What meeting, which meeting was this? We just got the back sheet, we don't got the date.
August.
Was it August?
It has to be, because there's always discussing what the auditor recommended, and September was just now approved, so it has to be August.
So we'll have to go back and if we amend it, we have to go back and re-sign them and approve them.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. So
that name will be struck from, and
You want that whole line taken out?
but we don't know what is it.
You got your copy right here. You read it?
well, I'm gonna make a motion to amend the minutes for August and take the name out. And then we can re-sign those minutes again. I was on the telephone at that time and I wasn't given a copy of them to see what all was in it.
So just the name, that's the only thing we need to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll second that, we'll strike that name, and then, make a motion to approve the amended minutes for August, and then we'll re-sign those. All right,
The NC 811, membership agreement.
and
Right
we-
here, right there.
There's grant money. I know just a little bit about this. Chad mentioned this to me. This call before you dig stuff. You can collect money if somebody if you've got that, if you're a member and somebody go ahead and digs without calling. But you have to be a member before you can collect any damages, collateral damages and
I
everything.
think it's a state requirement
And
that we
it's-
be a
yeah, right.
member to this,
And,
because we are owners of the utility company, or utility. And I think Sherry had all this all typed up, the whole contract with everything on it. No, she already, it's in there.
yeah.
I have a couple questions.
Alright,
Page 2 on the term,
uh-huh,
it says this agreement is bound by the bylaws in effect at the time of execution of this. And we need a copy of the bylaws so we know what's in effect. 811 is incorporated, they're in good standing. They've had lots of amendments, though, to their articles of incorporation, and that's okay. It's just that they're saying that you're bound by these terms of these bylaws, no matter how many times they're changed down the road. So we need a copy of the current ones. And it said they're attached, but there's no attachments at all.
it's really, really thick. I think Sherry
The
had
bylaws?
those. Yes.
Okay. But anyway, that's what we're bound by, those bylaws. And it said the articles of incorporation are attached, and they weren't attached, they may be with the bylaws. And then number 4 on page 2, fees and charges, there are none here. It said it's gonna be either A or B, but there's no identified fee. But Sonia has an email from September 4th that states an amount of money of $75 75 cents per transmission. So I would attach that and incorporate it.
Yeah, that's until January of 2023, in which at that time it'll be based on your tickets for the prior years, and it'll be just a yearly fee.
But I think I would like to add there, see attachment,
Okay.
and we'll do that email. Okay. Because you don't want to sign anything that just says it's going to be one or the other and not having monetary. Okay. Then, on page 4, the governing law, and I always zero in on that. It has Guilford County and the Middle District of North Carolina. I really think it should be
Graham County.
Graham County and then Western District
Right.
of North Carolina. We have a Western. So, and that would, and then it requires the pre-audit statement signed by Sonia. But that's standard, the pre-audit contract. But those items are crucial, though, that we have the copy of the bylaws and that you attach that email for the charge, so we can identify that. And then change the governing law.
Okay, we'll get the bylaws in hand at the next meeting, and we'll just hold off until we vote on it until then.
So the next meeting.
Yep.
Okay, online payment upgrade. So the software.
So the online payment is going wonderful. People, I'm so glad that we've done this. People pay in, during this time, it's a convenient way for them to pay. And right now, we're doing a basic program that's costing the town $50 a month. I'd like to request that we integrate this online program with our Southern Software utilities program, so that the payment will be automatic, it'll go straight in, but also the customer themselves will be able to see what their balance is. If they didn't have their bill in front of them, they'd be able to see what their amount due is. Right now, it's just, you go on to townofrobbinsville.com and you just pay what you want to pay. But if it's integrated, with their
They'll be able to see what
software,
they owe.
they can see what they pay, and I believe, I'm still working on this, but I believe they can also set it up for an automatic payment, which would be real nice for some people. We've had a lot of people say this is real convenient for them. They pay on the weekends, they pay at night.
Especially during all this, COVID going on.
And so we have people who work out of town, live out of town, so if we upgrade it, it'll be $150 a month instead of the $50 a month. So we're talking about another $1,200 a year. It's just a cost of business, but I'm just coming back to the,
And it's actually providing a service to the customer too.
what's that?
It's providing a service.
Provider service that a lot
A
of
convenience service.
businesses is a convenience service
Especially
that we're paying
these
for,
days.
I know.
Do
But
you know how many have used it? I mean, what's the number? Do you have the number of how many people have used it?
I'm averaging about 3 a day. Let's just pop in 3 times 30. Some of you guys know that. 3 times 30. About 90 right now, but I still say, let's get, just as we
Right.
started September, we started the first of, this is our 3rd month, I know it is. I don't know the exact date, so it's growing each time, so we did get
Yeah,
it
more and
in
more
the
people are
paper,
using it,
and
for
it's
sure.
growing, so I would say about 90 a month right now.
That is good.
So I would say go ahead and upgrade so it's integrated with our utility billing system.
I'll second that.
I think it's a good thing.
Because it doesn't look like this is gonna be a good-
Ain't gonna let up anytime soon, that's true.
No. Okay,
All right, John.
Big John, you got 3 seconds. Your time's up.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Pleasure. Okay, first, I just kind of want to review everything that we've talked about. One of the things that we talked about was that we had a budget request to you folks to donate a $2,500 operating expense for Revved Up, and that was put on hold for a few months till you saw where you stood with your budget. And I just want to remind everybody that was on the table. Okay? The other thing is, we had a meeting, and we split costs with the town to do 8 of the flagpoles on the flags as prototypes. Those were pretty well received, and at our last meeting, Revved Up approved to paint all of the remaining poles on Main Street, which is all the way down South Main to the end of the street, all the way up North Main to the hub, and on East Main as well. And that would be a total of 52 poles. And we voted to propose sharing the cost with the town, which the cost of that would be $2,600. And if we split that 2 ways, it would be $1,300 for the town, $1,300 for Revved Up. And that would cover all of the rest of the poles on Main Street.
That's for painting the
That's for
flag.
putting the American flag, right, painting the American
And,
flag just like the prototype.
That's not including the fiberglass poles on the end of North Main.
No,
No,
that's
no,
just
no,
only
that's
the
just
wooden.
the
Just the
wooden
wooden
side.
okay.
Yep.
I mean, I haven't got no negative comments on the flags, which I would hope we would, which was good. We didn't.
We kind of felt like in our meeting that it kind of gave us the flavor of an all-American town or whatever. Everybody loved the flags going up and down East Main Street,
Mhm.
and that was why we came up with that design. And yeah, I've heard, I've heard all good things. So, if you all want, I'll just go on and finish everything and figure out what you want to do, or do you want to take it individually, or how do you want to do it?
You can keep on.
Okay. I would love to have this, if we do this, I'd like to see if we could get it done by Christmas, for the Christmas celebration. Big projects that we have in place, and we've just got this approved. That is the mural that Jesse approved to put on his building out here. It'll be seen from all over town. So, the only thing that Jesse wants us to do, and I'm revising the drawings now, he wants to build a deck, if it's possible for him to acquire the property down here. And he would like the wording up here along the top of the building, and so that just the mountains show on the side of the building. So that's one of the things that we've got that all approved, but we're trying to find funding for that now. And that mural is going to cost $25,000. I just wanted you folks to see that. We also have a proposal. Okay, wait a minute. Debbie, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but did you ever see the pocket park that we're trying to do?
So,
Okay. There's a floor plan for the pocket park. And I don't know if you can show everybody.
That's on,
That's on
That
right.
is behind the facade.
right beside the old town hall.
And this is, if you were standing in the park here and looking towards the front, that would be what you'd see, that water feature right there with the waterfall and a statue of Junaluska at the top. And then this, if you're standing there looking out this way, that's the view that you would see. There's a little view platform at the back of the park. And we had originally proposed a mural to put on the side of the town hall building. That's something that we have to ask about. Do we need to have permission from the new leaseholders to put a mural on the town hall building?
That's,
You
I,
will.
that's what I thought.
The town, it would have to take subject to.
Okay. This mural of Trail of Tears was something that I did that they decided that they didn't want to do. But, so what we've got is, we've got a letter.
Yeah, that's what I was pretty sure.
Yeah, that's subject to the approval of the town.
Yes.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And the town received a proposal from Scott Merkin, who is owner of the mural shop. And he is doing a musician's mural
Is this where you come to get a moving permit?
throughout the state of North Carolina.
Is this
So
where you
he's
come to
already
get
got
a moving
5 of
permit?
these up. He's got John Coltrane, Randy
No, it's
Travis,
where it goes black.
Roberta Flack.
The building office? Where's that at?
I think he's got 2 others.
Is this the council?
That's not one.
This is
That's not
Yeah.
one. Those are the locations that he's got in mind. He's got 20 proposed.
okay. And that's where,
Yeah, Thelonious Monk. that was one that he's got done. I'm not sure if he's got a fifth one. I've been in contact with, I don't know if this fellow Greg Lowenhagen is his manager or whatever, or handling this project. I've been in contact with him by email. They want to do Ronnie Millsap in Robbinsville. And so I sent him a proposal to do it on that side of the town hall. And we might have to, we might look at having a backup. There's not a lot of places to do something like that. Jesse's building, I showed it to Jesse, and he wants to do the mountains. And it's his building, so. But anyway, this is a possibility for us. The mural for these folks to come in, I think he said that the paint is guaranteed for 10 years. And I think the prices that they're talking about are $15,000 to do that mural. My thought was, would the town consider doing $5,000 towards the mural if the county would do $5,000, and then we could get a private donation for $5,000. And so I'm bringing all these projects because one of Michelle's primary things was she wanted to have the town of Robbinsville looking as good as possible by 2022 for the 150th county anniversary. So with the mural at the town hall, the mural going on Jesse's building, the mural going on the old VFW, the facelifts that we've done, we've still got a couple more facelifts coming up. We're thinking that if we can get these projects done, that we'd be looking pretty good by 2022. So the cost of, and I could be way off, I might not be. I think that the cost of putting that park in is probably going to be around $100,000. We're looking for ways, and we're not coming to you for that, but we're looking for ways that maybe if you have ideas of how we could raise funds. One of our ideas came from Santikla. We just did some entry improvement drawings for them, and they're helping to fund that with selling engraved paving bricks to go in the project. So that might be something that we can try. We might also be able to try to put sponsors' names on murals or something like that, but Jesse's a little bit, he doesn't really want to see that too much. So anyway, so the murals in the park, and of course we've got, Michelle is working on the pavilion down there, which is 7,000 square feet. And she's got the mural going up down there. The pavilion, the cost of that is going to be probably, I think that she's got a quote for just the deck part, which is 7,000 square feet, of around 150 to 200,000, 150, 175.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have, once that deck is there, we would put a covered stage and a covered bleacher seating over part of it, and then part of it would remain open. So we were anticipating a total cost on that pavilion of probably 250 to 300,000, but these are just things that Rev'd Up is working on to secure the funding, and it's not what we're asking the town to pitch in. These are just things that we're working hard to get done. We also have the Christmas celebration. There's three things here. I wanted to show you the pole flags, the big projects that we're working on, and then the year end, because we've not really done a lot this year. So we'd like to figure out what we're going to do by the year end. And the biggest thing is that we want to continue the Christmas celebration. If we can paint the flagpoles, paint the pole flags, maybe we could put like a big red ribbon or something on the flags, which would go with the American flag design, but it'd help decorate the poles for Christmas. We do want to put white lights on the 4 big evergreen trees by the electronic sign at the library. There's 4 big trees. We talked about keeping those lit year-round to make a nice entry into the town, you know. We have candy canes already that we're going to put up on the bypass and on East Main. We want to keep the Christmas decoration contest, and we want to add 6 runner-up prizes of $50 apiece to help encourage more residents to decorate. And we gave away $1,000 in contest prizes last year at Christmas. We had a pretty good response. We had probably 20 businesses and homes decorated. And if we can build on that and keep adding a little bit more every year, especially this year, it'd go a long way. I think everybody could use a little shot of pride and encouragement from
And just to
COVID
touch
virus.
base, what the town we purchased, like live, not live, but like the Christmas displays. We
Yeah, you've got
purchased
8 of those.
that are going up around town.
That's going to be huge.
That'll help out a whole lot.
Yep. And then we want to know, I want to know if there's any way that we can help the town to get the wooden fences painted, repainted and repaired. We would love to do that, but I think our consensus, I think you guys were talking about going back and painting them brown. Michelle was feeling like she'd like to see them white, and I was wondering if we might do a combination and paint them like the poles with maybe red and white stripes.
Have you ever seen white fences whenever you wait around and kudzu growing through them?
Yeah. Well, I'm
You
just
gotta stop and think before you vote on
Regardless what
what.
color, they need to
Brown
be-
sounds like a
they
better
need
option.
to-
we'd
they need
love
some
to
work
see
done.
the fences
Mhm.
done before Christmas too. We'd like to see the telephone poles and the fences and, you know, the town decorated and, you know, give people some excitement or encouragement or something. So that's what I had on that, and then I found Michelle, I guess, sent in a request, and she talks about great partnering with Revved Up, and they gave us a grant to do 6 new wayfinding signs around town. And our original intent there was to get the traffic off the bypass back up onto Main Street going towards the Cherry Hill Skyway. So we don't know, we're still struggling with what we can put on the signs and what we can't put on them. But we have the funding to put in 6 wayfinding signs that will complement the welcome signs that we've put up. And they'll have a flower planter around the base of them that look nice. And so Great has funded that project for us. Michelle is asking on behalf of Great and Revved Up to request $2,500 to allow us to purchase planters for 20 trees. We've got 12 trees already in place, the street trees out here, but Karen feels like that the planters need to be replaced because they're not big enough for the trees to grow. So Michelle is asking for 20 trees. 12 of them are already in place, and then the remaining 8 would be purchased by local businesses. And this would also allow the lighting of the evergreen trees. Now, she said 3 large trees. I went out and looked, and there were 4. So she asked for $2,500 for that. I don't know what she said. It's on behalf of Great and Revved Up, so I can't speak for Great. I can only speak for Revved Up. And so I'm not sure of the exact design of the planters. She sent some pictures.
I think it's gonna be like metal. with
Yeah,
the
those were
wood
not,
frame.
those were not discussed or anything at the revved up meeting, so that might change a little bit. Or it might be that it's going through great and then it would be what she said. I'm not sure, but the planters, there's a question to me about the planters, whether they would need to be able to be moved. We were concerned that just in case DOT wanted us to move or change the planter location, that we could do it, which was why we went with the planters that we went with. And I think that these pictures are from the community garden,
They are.
which would be a permanent thing, and I think that that's something that we should probably talk about in our next revved up meeting. But anyway, that's a request from Michelle. So the thing that I brought up was for the possibility of donating $5,000 towards Ronnie Millsap, which he is a native born Robbinsville, for the mural, provided that the county would donate and we could get another $5,000 private donation. That would let us move forward with helping to schedule that. And the investment for our operating expense, which covers our operating expenses, which right now we're looking at a website being built as part of our operating expenses. And it would not cover the pole flags, but we have other funds, other fundraising projects that we're doing that would cover the flag poles, if provided we do a 50-50 split on the cost of the flags. So that's where I stand with stuff. Any questions?
So how much was it on the flag?
13.
The flags are gonna be, there's a total of 52 more poles. I think the artist gave us a great price of $50 a piece. They worked their butts off on those other ones, getting them ready in time for the 4th of July. They're painted with DOT approved paints, which should last 10 years at least. So the cost of 52 poles would be $2,600, and if we split that 50-50 with revved up, it'd be $1,300 for each, the town and for revved up. And I don't have the drawings for the pavilion that we're trying to put up, but it's pretty nice.
It's an outside deck. It's basically an outside deck.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a place that
Yeah.
you could put the music on the square and all of that without blocking off the street. There'd be restrooms, and the high school is planning on
Hopefully we
opening
get to
3
have those
businesses
again.
with snacks.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said, hopefully we'll get to have those again.
Yeah. Well, this is a year that's changed everything, isn't it?
So, total, I'm all for the flag project. I think that looks good, and I think we've got nothing but, we ain't got no negative comments out of those.
That's $1,300
Yeah.
split.
Now, the operating expenses, we're still waiting on funds to come in. The planters and the lights and the Ronnie Millsap thing is supposed to have to be put on hold, I'm afraid.
Well, the Millsap's mural, according to the correspondence that I've got with them, they have done 5 of these murals so far, and he has 3 more that are scheduled to be done. So that might be something that we might even be able to do on next year's budget or something. I don't know.
It may be on
We can
down
put
the
it
road.
off a little bit, but
Have you approached Graham County Travel or the Robbinsville Travel?
no, I haven't approached either one of those. And I
Cause
didn't
that
know if
sounds
that
more
was
like
a-
it's a tourism thing
I was
to
gonna,
get people in.
I was going to talk with RTA about the Christmas contest, because we're gonna need help funding the Christmas project. So I'm also gonna meet with Becky Garland and see what she recommends as far as any kind of help from the county. They asked that we put any bid requests in by the end of March, and with the COVID and stuff, we didn't do it. And from what I understand, they have not funded anything this year. So, I don't know, but I wanna go and talk with Becky and sit down with her and show her what we're doing and see what she recommends.
I mean, personally, at this time, don't have a problem approving the half of the flag, but the rest of it, I'm afraid is gonna have to be placed on hold for now. I mean, that's my opinion.
So, that includes the operating funds?
For right now,
Uh-huh,
until we get some more funds in,
okay,
then we can revisit that as funds are available.
okay.
And until we can actually see what is
Mhm.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
You know.
because I mean, the recent spike of everything, we may be going
Yeah,
back into kind of
yeah.
lockdown mode again.
Yeah,
So, but I don't have a problem with approving the $1,300 for the flags today.
okay. Is that,
I'll second that. And they are gonna be done by Christmas, the parade, because didn't you say that you wanted that done?
yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a problem. I have,
Is there gonna be a problem with the poles that bleed through? You know,
That
that
one's
one that,
the
you
only
said
one,
that-
there's only one pole that's bleeding through, okay?
No, I
That's-
can take you and show you some more that's bleeding through all the way down, up and down through here, in 2 or 3 different
From the
spots.
flags?
No, not with the flag,
Okay.
but we put keels on that one and it bled through that keel, and he wouldn't paint a flag on it on.
That's the
on it.
one, yeah, that's the one that I'm
Right.
knowing that we've
But
got
there's some
problems.
other poles that
Just
have
take
that
it a-
creosote coming out of.
Pole by pole basis.
Mhm.
Yeah, so for
where's
the ones that don't work like that,
Right.
then
We
what,
can
I
possibly
mean,
do
it's
another pole somewhere
$50 a
else.
pole,
Right,
so
yeah.
what if you don't paint all of those poles?
Yeah, the only one that I know that's real bad is the one by the attorney's office, by Matt Talon's office, and that was real bad, but we started out, remember, Steve, we put that thorough seal on that.
And then we went back and put the
Well,
other wrong too.
yeah, but it was the thorough seal wasn't the right thing to put on it, but I don't know what else, we can look at the other poles and see what the problem is.
I mean, if they're bad, I would suggest not painting them because, I mean, it's just gonna bleed through.
That's
the
worse enough thing though,
Pay for
with
that.
our attorney's office.
Yeah,
The
that's,
others has got some-
and I know that that's got a problem, and that had the worst creosote
Yeah,
on
that
it
was
to start
bad.
out with. Yeah. So, but we'll figure something out with that one. And if it's not done, it'll be that much less, or if we figure out a solution, we'll do that. I thought that the kills worked much better, and if we need to go out, I mean, we've still got some kills left. If I need to go out and prime them with kills or something, I'll do that.
Okay. Well, I like the flag, and I like to look forward to seeing them the rest of them down Main Street.
Yeah, okay. good.
Appreciate all your work,
Yeah.
John.
All right,
That
no
being
problem.
done, I
Appreciate
regret
your time
this,
working.
Go ahead and take care of Mr. Grant Star.
Okay.
And then we'll let Miss Nancy
Okay,
speak.
all right.
So I can read you guys the sizes and the price list, or however you want me to
Okay.
do it. It's several different options. Starts out with quarter page being $150, half page $250, full page $400, and I think the other one's already spoken for. So those are your options.
What do you think?
Okay, that sounds good.
Half page for $250. Okay. All right. Well, I'll let Debbie know to get in touch with you, Sonia. And
Okay,
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Well, I'll be up there tomorrow for the other
Right,
thing,
your
so
thing too. Yeah.
I'll speak with her when I
Okay.
get up there.
That'll work.
Who's the motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, half page, Debbie said.
Second.
Thank you, guys.
Uh-huh. Everything we can do to support the paper, you know. They didn't even make the best paper in the top reader.
I know it's pretty bad. Somebody somebody else won it from outside the county, so I didn't put it on the list. Everybody likes smoking
All right.
Tom's better.
All right, Miss Nancy.
We hand out the audit reports, you'll have plenty of extras.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind. Welcome to look at one. Would you like an audit report?
I would love an audit.
You would, all right. Wait, if you need more, because I know you said you're using them for grant applications, and I've given you a PDF file as well. So, here, since I was talking to everybody. So anyway, first I want to just thank you for, again, having our firm do your annual audit, your required annual audit by the local government commission. And this year, just a little bit of a change, just in personnel. Mark Bumgarner, stepping down as partner on the job, so I've taken over as partner on the job. But I've also been the field work person for, I think since 2014 or whatever year it was we started, I believe it was 2014. So just wanted to thank you again for having our firm do your audit, and we'll be doing it at least another couple of years for our contract. And thanking Sonia and Sherry for their continued, great efforts during our audit, before our audit. I mean, Sonia's doing a wonderful job getting our numbers, to the point where we're making just basic adjustments. It's not anything significant. The books are in great shape, I guess is what I'm trying to say, convey. And the budget issues that we had in the past are no longer. We're not having overages, so we didn't have any compliance violations on that, in that area we have in the past. I'll go over some of the letters. In your audit report, you'll see you have two letters. The first letter is standard. It's the AU 260 letter by standards that's required. It's the letter to those charged with governance or to the board. It just kind of covers, significant audit findings, any changes in auditing standards. There were no new changes or no standards that were adopted in the current year. We discussed accounting policies in note 1 to the financial statements, so you can look that over at some point if you're really interested. If you flip to page 2, the standard letter talks about any difficulties we encountered, and we did not have any difficulties in doing the audit or discussing issues with management. The corrected and uncorrected misstatements, we did have just some minor adjustments, of which Sonia posted all of those, right? You did get all, we got all of those this year. I remember last year we just forgot to post a couple, or I forgot to give them to Sonia. It was my fault. It's totally my fault. We had no disagreements with management. Sonia and Steve as management have represented to us in their management representation letter that I've already received, and there were no issues there. We didn't consult with any other accountants. We did have some findings, and I'll discuss that in this letter, just some suggestions for improvement, I'll call it that. And then, let's see, other matters, we have, the standard MD&A that Sonia has updated with, pertinent town information, future tax rates and projections of sorts, and, let's see, and pretty much that's it. So just a standard letter. I guess, let's see, before I go over the other letter, which is just suggestions for improvement, let's all look at our audit report. And, pretty much it didn't change. Things were very similar to last year. I mean, despite COVID, and I think what we're all seeing, I'm seeing this at kind of Williamsville, and, just maybe it's this area in general, but, we all feared that sales taxes were going to plummet, and they kind of did. I mean, things were a little weird, and we thought, oh, wow, occupancy tax, and this is more of an RTA thing. Now I'll talk about this with the RTA board. But everybody kind of worried, and temporarily it did, but now we're seeing people are coming here in droves, they're coming to these more rural areas, and the Williamsville right now is packed. I mean, it's like the big, they used to do the Church Street Art Show and Apple Festival back to back, and this year it's just one weekend festival. It's called Fall for Waynesville, And, I mean, it was just packed in town. On a Saturday, my office parking lot is full of cars. I guess I get mad sometimes because I got work to do, but then you think, oh, I guess it's good, you know, because we got all these people in town, and they're bringing money, and they're spending, and their sales taxes are up. So I think you guys maybe aren't seeing that to the degree, but, you know, what you're talking about with, you know, improving the town and making it attractive for visitors to come is a really good thing. I mean, I think we'll get through the COVID and learn some stuff, and it seems like it's all going to be okay. I hope, you know. But anyway, so just kind of, you know, that little preamble there to talk about how when I did the audit, you know, yes, we were in the well, I don't know if it's the thick of the COVID. We're still in phase 2 and we're being real cautious, and now who knows which way we're going. But anyway, I didn't see a whole lot of, you know, decreases in revenues or anything too significant with the town. In fact, we saw an increase in cash. You know, we saw cash up in the general fund, basically because you were really watching spending, and you know, the cash was down in the water sewer fund a little bit just because we thought utility receipts got a little sluggish, but the governor allowed that, so we expected that. I think now, and I don't know what's happened after the fact, but it sounds like with your Black Mountain software system and people paying online, you know, hopefully that's picking up and you're not having to do a lot of write-offs, or your delinquent people have come around and maybe gotten themselves current. That was kind of an interesting, you know, trend in cash going up, at least in the general fund. You know, we've got the county still collecting our taxes, and they're doing a great job. So our taxes receivable are down compared to last year. So that's not really, I don't know, you've sent out bills by now, I'm sure. And I don't know if you're seeing payments come in, people have until January 1 before they're delinquent, or second until they're delinquent. But, you know, at least last year the collection was you know, pretty good. Oh, let's see, the general fund bought, you know, a truck and did some paving, so there was some fixed asset in the general fund capitalized, not a whole lot. But the biggest project over there in the water sewer fund was the Tallulah Creek water plant improvement project and the water treatment plant project, which finally got completed right after year end. So you see a big capital addition in the water sewer treatment plant for that. But pretty much everywhere else, you know, we really didn't see a whole lot of significant changes from the prior year. Nothing too remarkable or too crazy. And Sonia does a really great job. I won't read it to you, but if you start on page 4, the management discussion and analysis, I think is, you know, Sonia's done an excellent job of really making this personal about what the town did. You know, the financial highlight section is on page 4. So you certainly want to pay attention and read that. You know, our general fund, unassigned fund balance is very, very healthy, looking really good. Debt's going down. We haven't taken on any new debt. You know, we mentioned here that the COVID-19 affected the water sewer revenue, and the town resumed normal procedures for collections and all that. And as you just said, you know, things are kind of getting back on track. And, you know, as always, you're spending quite a bit of money on repairs at the sewer plant, well, water and sewer both. There's always, you know, repairs and stuff that need to be taken care of to keep everything running smoothly. But other than that, I mean, I really, and I was told I need to keep this short, so I don't want to go into any grave detail of anything. I mean, you've got this wonderful report that we worked so hard to put together, and if you're, you know, feel free to read through it. I mean, it's probably not as exciting as painting the poles of downtown Robbinsville, which does sound pretty cool and everything like that. But it has some good information, especially the MD&A. I think the MD&A is really a layman's wrap-up of what happened and some comparative information. On page 11, we have some projections for next year where we talk about, you know, when we talk about the tax rate, I think the tax rate is going to stay the same. And basically, well, we talk about some repairs, and we talk about the paving project and buying a truck and all that stuff, and procedures for collection, resuming normal procedures. But anyway, I mean, the report itself, not to bore you with it, but we show we're in good financial position. The town is not in violation of any state statutes. We had grant money that required us to, the Tallulah Creek Water Treatment Plant project. We didn't exceed the threshold to require a single audit this year. It sounds like with this upcoming CDBG-I project, we will be looking at a single audit. I'm not sure when that spending is going to, the majority will occur. It's up to $2 million.
That's over a 3-year period.
Okay, I was gonna ask what the time frame might be, but it's one of these, 1 or 2 or a couple of years, I'm assuming we're gonna be kicked back into single audit mode. But it's just that one project that'll do that, so, just anticipate adding that in as something I'll need to do in, next year when we come out to do the audit again. So anyway, let's go back. So the last thing, let me wrap up here with my presentation of your town's report is that other letter. So there were no, there was a segregation of duties letter that's embedded in the yellow book report, what we call the compliance report. Let's see, let me point that out because that's on page, let's see, the yellow book compliance report is on page 48. And we talk about the segregation of duties on page 51. I know you guys are doing a tremendous job with your small staff to mitigate the fact that there's only 2 people in the office, and you're doing that with Debbie coming in, and she's helping to provide another set of eyes or controls with her looking over the bank recs and signing checks, and also commend you again for doing that. Just keep on doing as much as you can considering your small staff. On page 52, we have the corrective action plan, which now has to be presented on your letterhead, so that's kind of a little different that it's on your letterhead, but that's why, because it's under the new Yellow Book. We're operating under Yellow Book 2018, and there's just more of an emphasis on the auditor being independent and the auditor, making management take responsibility for, again, corrective action plans, hosting fixed assets, just trying to keep more of a barrier of where you're independent auditor, we're not doing any management functions. So we're striving to do that, and I think we're doing a decent job. So back then to the letter, the other letter, which is a suggestion letter, where we're not picking on anybody in any way, shape, or form. We're just trying to help the town improve internal controls, make things transparent amongst the town, to the citizens of the town, that is. The first issue was personal use of town property, and anyway, we're talking about Visa card use and that it was an accidental use, and we're suggesting that the town modify its credit card policy to require, and I'm not sure if you've done that, if you guys are working on credit card policies, and again, we just want to make sure that, town business and the town credit cards are always used for town related purchases, and good internal controls would be to maybe keep those credit cards here in the office and just when you need it, use it then for the purchase. Gas cards, I mean, there's just a lot of abuse you see in gas cards, and again, maybe just keeping those in the vehicles that they're intended for and only used for town related purchases of fuel. And
what was the about the issues that was never whenever a West card for one vehicle was used for another? On the wax card.
Yes.
There was a time the Wex card was used in
They would more than one
Council
time,
personal
Yeah,
the red card was used on the two purchased vehicles in Asheville, North Carolina. There wasn't nothing said there.
No, that wasn't about that. It was when, remember when we had a board meeting and you and Sean discussed about how you used the Wex card for your personal vehicle accidentally?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was
That's why we're saying maybe just put the Wex card in the town
There's
vehicle.
the West card's in the
And
vehicle.
don't keep them in your wallet, because it's
The
too easy
West
to
card is
accidentally.
in the vehicle.
Oh, okay, good.
And the credit card is in the
In the
office.
tab, good, okay, well then you've already adopted the suggestion there, all right, cool. And then, let's see, about using, mowing equipment, you know, I don't know, I'm not trying to get too tied up in any of this stuff, but again, just good policy would be that the, you know, employees of the town not use, town equipment personally. I think there was maybe some given an okay to do it, and one citizen wrote this lengthy letter, and oh my gosh, I don't know. Just again, just sort of just a general policy, good policy to just not you know, use town equipment and stuff on personal for personal use. All right, next page, use of purchase orders. And I was talking to Sonia about this before when I arrived. It sounds like you know, this has improved tremendously on using purchase orders, and it's just good policy for, you know, budgeting purposes, for pre-audit of expenditures, and also, you know, just as part of the whole paper trail of when we go to buy things, if we get quoted prices, we got a PO, you know, gives more, it just makes purchasing more legitimate with, you know, what we were quoted when we enter into a transaction, and especially for budgeting, you know, purposes, and making sure if we need to amend the budget for something that might not be originally included in the budget. All right, and then use of comp and vacation time. Let's see. Performing audits used on payroll. We had several employees who built up a substantial amount of comp time. And this is regarding the policy on the use of comp and vacation time. Without a policy requiring comp time to use certain periods, comp time balances can grow. And I think you paid down a couple of the employees who had built up a substantial amount, but this suggestion is to, you know, have a policy for what period of time in which you've earned comp time, and then when you can use it, you know, so it doesn't build up to be an incredibly large balance that could be a burden if that's when terminated. And then also just a suggestion to require everybody to take off a chunk of time. Because a lot of times you'll find out, you know, I mean, some of the, I'm not saying anybody's committing fraud, but, you know, you hear the stories about, you know, when the bookkeeper finally she got sick or something and had to take a week off, and then they uncovered, oh wow, she was hiding checks, or there was, you know, some wrongdoing going on that was able to be covered up because that person never took a vacation. They never took a chunk of time off to have someone else do those duties. And, you know, usually it's when something, you know, just unplanned happens, that person's forced to take some time off, and then, you know, the other folks trying to fill in kind of stumble on, you know, something not right happening. So anyway, our overall suggestion is that the town review its personnel policies, consider requiring comp time to be used within a set period of time that is earned, and also to require a block of vacation time to be used each year by each employee. And then the last one, the water sewer maintenance inventory. You know, every year we, Mark and I would talk about, you know, well, is it material? Well, we don't think it's material. Well, this year I finally went down to the maintenance department and actually kind of looked around, and it looks like there's a fair amount of stuff that has value. So my initial suggestion was really just to count up what we have of actively used replacement parts and inventoriable type items. You know, not old stuff that's obsolete, but just maybe put together a list and just see what's the value of what we have, you know? And I don't know if you guys have you guys done that? Yeah. No. But that was just a suggestion that you perform an inventory count. Let's just see what we have and see if it is material. I mean, if it's not, I don't know, we're talking like, it's under $10,000 worth of stuff, to me, that's not really huge or a big number, but.
Chad does have he does have kind of a standing number of what stuff he uses on a day-to-day basis, county,
Yeah.
to keep, like, we need to have 6 of these, and he knows how many to keep kind of.
Do we know what the value might be, the total dollar value of all that stuff?
It would take just a second going there and pull 4 in Maine and kind of see what that could be. I mean, you know. We've had a water break or whatever. We might have used 2, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, he tries to keep, I think, either 4 to 6 of the emergency clamps in case we have a main water line break. And I'll keep him in stock, because at times you might just use 1 on one break, but then the next break you'll liable to use 3 of them.
Okay.
So that's why he keeps that right there. But
Okay. But anyway, that's just a suggested, you know, like you said, that might be something that's quick and easy to do, just sort of figure out a dollar figure of what our total is at some point, and then we'll see, you know, is it material where we need to every year just update that and adjust our purchases account, you know, be an adjustment between inventory and purchases.
I know we keep the inventory of our equipment that's down there, our big equipment.
Just a list, just a listing of it, right?
Of the equipment, like the pumps and the weed eater and stuff like that, and I know we know the number of that.
Yeah, okay. All right, so are there any questions? Do you have questions on any of the numbers this year, or the comments that I made with the suggestions? And the local government commission, I mean, they don't thoroughly read and review. I submit a unit data workbook with the audit report that I transmit to them. They have to approve it first, and then, you know, then I kind of finalize it, print it out, and create a PDF copy for you. So it has been looked at. They're looking at more benchmarking with that unit data thing. And the neat thing about this template or worksheet that I complete is it will pop out errors if numbers aren't, you know, in balance, or net income isn't agreeing to, you know, from one area to another set of this worksheet that I'm putting together. The stabilization by state statute calculation, it was really honed in on that because that actually did pop out. I had to tweak it just a little bit for, you've got internal balances here where the general fund owes the water sewer fund this year. Last year it was flip-flop. So in the calculation of stabilization by state statute, that amount that the general fund owes the water fund is payable, and that affects the calculation of the stabilization by state statute. I picked that up and fixed my number there. So anyway, I guess just to give you some comfort, if it is any comfort, that you know, the numbers have been gone over and reviewed and re-reviewed and looked over by the local government commission and approved. So
financially we're doing well.
Yes, doing well. Yeah. So that's all I have, unless there are any questions.
Any questions from Nancy?
No, I don't.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Finance update.
Okay, so the first thing that you have is the budget versus actual. That's for the end of September. Just to give you a summary of how we're doing at the end of September, the general fund has a positive balance.
It is, it's nice
We
out.
brought in $7,698 more than what we spent, so we're still kind of tight. We've received taxes right after the bills went out, but now it's really slowing down. So we'll start seeing taxes again in January. So we're tight. We don't have a budget on anything over budget, and we're not spending more we're bringing in. But just so we know, sometimes the general fund, it does take time. And I hope COVID doesn't affect our taxes this year. It didn't last year because COVID hit after most of people had paid. And then with our water and sewer fund, we have brought in $58,353 million. Our collections are doing good with water and sewer, but last week we, for Monday, I printed out a shut-off list, and it was 2 pages long, so, we're still trying to get, systems out there, so we're still having a little reluctance about getting everybody paid. Things are tight for people, some people are getting laid off or missing work because of COVID, so we're doing okay. I still get a little bit nervous not knowing
I'll
what's
just
going
come
on.
in and pay it when I get a
Okay.
bill? Okay, that's fine.
And then I also gave you a budget versus actual, that way, detail. This was as, after I paid bills on Tuesday, so October the 6th. So if you wanted to go through in your spare time and look over, how we're doing on each line item, everything is pretty much right in budget, which was around the 25% that we would want for the first quarter of the year. So I don't see any big issues to bring up right now. I just want to give you a summary. And I know you're exhausted, so that's all I do. Okay.
Anybody have anything to go into closed session?
I got a few things that I wanted to
Entertain a motion to go into closed session here, being at, 3:11.